Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart and it's time for an airbrush review. Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Baron of Dice, premium wargaming dice. Over 500 styles, over 4,000 customer reviews. Welcome to the best dice on the planet. It's been a few months now since Gaahleri very kindly sent me the 0.3 Mobius, and it's become my main airbrush now. I use it in all my commission work. I've used it in all my videos since there, so if you've been watching my tutorials, you'll have no doubt seen this airbrush, maybe not from this angle. I love it. And for something that's not premium priced, it definitely feels premium quality, and I'll pop a link in now for the review that I did on this. But they've also just sent me this. So this is the 0.2 version of the airbrush. It has a couple of different features and obviously a smaller needle, so it's better for detail work and things like that. And that's what I'm going to be reviewing today. But hang around, because they've also sent me these two, and I'll be giving these away at the end of the video. So this is my Mobius 0.3 that I've been using for about 6 months now, still in pretty good condition. It's quite easy to keep it clean. Back in January when I first reviewed the airbrush, you could only order it direct from Gaahleri, but now it's available in UK and European warehouses as well, including different Amazon stores all around the world, and I'll be popping links to all of those in the video description. So as I crack into the 0.2, you'll notice the price on both airbrushes is extremely reasonable. These genuinely are premium feel airbrushes, and the price of them really surprised me how low they were. Like many people, I've tried and used a few really cheap airbrushes, the kind that come free with the compressors, but I've also, in the last few years, been using expensive premium brown ones that sort of 150 to 220, 30 pound mark. And these really feel like they match those more premium airbrushes for a lower price. The box is the same as the 0.3, so good strong cardboard. You have your little customer leaflets, and you have this really nice simple quick start guide with both of them, names all the individual parts, just takes you through with a very simple, easy to view kind of layout of what each part does, and some simple tips about thinning paints. You get some free or spare O-rings and some lube in the pack as well, which is always nice. And the airbrush itself is very similar to the 0.3 model, so feels premium in the hand. It's a really nice finish, a real nice weight. The paint cup comes with a little lid as well, which is handy when you're at different angles and things, and the foam inside is really thick and well protective. If you're watching this around the time of release, still in the middle of Amazon's Prime Day promotions, then these airbrushes are available in that promotion, so it's worth taking a look. And then from the 22nd of July to the 31st of July, there are some discount codes available for these airbrushes as well, and I will pop details of those in the video description. Both airbrushes feel very similar in the hand. There's some slight differences in design for the different functions and things, and we'll go through those in a short while. So you can unscrew the end of the nozzle cap, just revealing the needle. Some people like to paint like that. I like to leave it on for the protection of the needle. And you can unscrew the whole nozzle cap there as well, and then the nozzle's just tucked inside there, and it's got the really cool airflow system. This little adjuster at the bottom there adjusts airflow really quickly, so it basically controls the amount of air coming out. It doesn't have that on the 0.3. It's a dual action airbrush, means you press down for the air and you pull back to release the paint. You can adjust at the end to adjust how far you can pull back on the hammer, so you've got some kind of control there as well. And then this little bit here changes the tension of the trigger handle as well, so you basically get it all set up for the way that it matches what you're doing, the job in hand, your style of painting, just generally how it feels to work with. You remove the back part of the handle here, and then if you undo this little sort of gold coloured screw there, you can remove the needle. Now you never should pull the needle back through the airbrush, especially when it's had paint on it, because you can draw paint in. So what you do is you remove the nozzle cap and the nozzle, loosen it off, and then gently push it through and take it out that way. Then that way any remaining paint gets pulled away. You can remove the cap for cleaning as well, and this is sort of the basic cleaning stage that I would do in between paints sometimes, but definitely at the end of a session. That's as far as I would normally strip it. And here you've got your little trigger handle. They work differently on different airbrushes. This one, you just need to pull back there so you can fit the end in, and there's a hole in the middle for your needle to go through. But there, that's pushing down on a little valve that releases or pushes the air up through the airbrush. So once that's back in, you can very gently, you don't want to blunt the end, slide your needle back through, and it pops out the other way. You can just see it in the little gap in the center of the airbrush. And then very gently you've got that nozzle with the airflow system I was talking about earlier. Place that back in the nozzle cap, and again very gently place it in, screw it on, and once that's firm but not too tight, you don't want to break any threads, push the needle in so it stops. You don't want to jam that in hard either, otherwise you'll ruin the end of your nozzle. Tighten it up, put your handle back on, and then you're ready to go. Well, apart from screwing the paint pot back on, you wouldn't want to go too far without that. Because of the little extra adjuster at the bottom, it doesn't sit quite as easy in most sort of standard paintings. It is doable, but it definitely caught me off guard the first time I put it to rest in there. So I'm going to use some Tooth & Coat Sanguine Scarlet, and I've just done this with water, and I'm just playing around on some paper. If you're new to airbrushing, which many people I think looking at these reviews and looking at these airbrushes may be, this is a really good way of getting used to using an airbrush to start with, but I'm just putting it through the most basic paces here just to get a little feel from it. And it's very much like the previous airbrush, the 0.3. Depending on the paints you use and how much you thin, you can do very, very faint lines. And I did a few, but they just wouldn't really show up on the camera very well, so I'm going a little bit thicker just to show you. But the control is really easy, and I'm using a standard paint, not an airbrush paint, and I'm using water to thin here, and it still goes through absolutely fantastically. And don't get me wrong, Tooth & Coat's paints are remarkably good at going through an airbrush, and if you can thin any paint well enough, but this is having no problems at all. And I'm being a little bit lazy here, messing around, just doing doodles and things, but it's very, very easy to control. The trigger works really well. I'm able to control the airflow and the paint flow relatively easy. I think that would be very sort of useful for a new person if they're starting with airbrushing, but you just get a really, really good quality brush for a budget price, really. I was very conscious of getting this review done quickly so that I could get the video out in time for the Prime deals and in time for the deals they've put on towards the end of the month as well, which meant I didn't really have time to set up a particular miniature to demonstrate painting a miniature in that way. The same as I did the first time around, but all I can say is, like I did at the beginning, I've been using the 0.3 as my main brush, and I was using a Harder and Steenbeck brush, which was absolutely fantastic and very expensive beforehand. And I feel they compare pretty well. It's a personal choice thing. It's what I feel, but I'm very happy with these for the price you pay as well. As I keep saying, is fantastic. Now, I did have these on my desk. I was just finishing them off, so I thought I'd play around with a small control here, just using a little bit of black in the center of these Space Hulk doors, and I can just go along the edge of the step there as well. It just shows you with this 0.2 needle how much control you have at a very low pressure. I think I'm on about 10 psi here. I'm just shading around the bottom of the feet here, adding a little bit of shadow, and I've got loads of control, and there's not much overspray, and there would be much more on the 0.3 as well. So really, really found this easy to use. I felt I had lots of control. I felt very confident I wasn't going to mess up the paint job that was already there. I just went along and actually added the shadow to all of these bases. These aren't mine, unfortunately. These are for a client, for a commission. But I needed to finish the bases, and I ended up doing it in the middle of recording this video. So at least there is a miniature involved somewhere along the line. Back in January, you couldn't get spare parts unless it was direct from the Gaahleri web store. Now they have a UK or EU stores as well. Now you also can get parts of everything airbrush in the UK, and I'm sure that's similar around the world. Well, thank you for making it this far, and hopefully it's not just because you want to win one of these two airbrushes, but absolutely fair enough as it is. I thought before I tell you how to win, I'll give you a little rundown of what these are and what their general specifications are. So both brushes are from their advanced range rather than their premium range. So it's one level down from the Mobius that I've been reviewing today. So the GAD or the GHAD39 currently retails on Amazon for $44.99. So very much a really good introductory price. You have two needles involved. So there's a 0.35 and a 0.5 needle, which is really, really fantastic for a beginner. If you're looking to have a brush to do most sort of detail work, but you want to use the slightly larger needle maybe for base coating, putting primer layers down, especially in wet weather in the UK, or if you're in other parts of the world where the weather doesn't always help you prime outside. GHAD68 is very similar to the GHAD39. The main difference is the visible one. You can see the different style handle, you get that trigger style. But in terms of needles, you get two for this one as well, but it's a 0.38 and a 0.5 rather than a 0.35 and a 0.5. So not much difference. They both come with two paint cups. They both have the micro air channel style nozzles as well, which you saw with the Mobius versions that I have reviewed in this video and my previous review video.
So now you know a little bit more about what you can win. How do you win? And it's super simple. All you got to do is like this video and drop a comment below, and everyone who drops a comment below will be entered into the giveaway to win one of these. Now you can't win both. If the same name is drawn twice, I will redraw that second round just to keep it a little bit fairer and spread the love to some different people. If you are a patron of mine, so if you're a member on my Patreon, again, link below. It's a great way to support the channel. You'll have two entries in the hat if you comment. So not all patrons automatically get entered, but if you comment, I will give you a second draw in there. So it's a double your chance of winning. That's just a nice little boost I like to give to my patrons for the competitions I run on the channel.
I will run the competition to the end of the month, so any comments made before the end of the calendar month in July will be included.
But other than that, that is it. I will ship worldwide. Any import taxes or anything like that are up to you to pay, but there are no other costs you don't have to pay to enter the giveaway, anything like that at all. Thank you very much to Gaahleri for sending me the prizes to share to you guys, to thank you for watching the videos and engaging. I love these airbrushes, as you've already seen from my reviews, and they're really good. And I think for the price you pay, you're getting the experience of a much more premium airbrush, and I absolutely love that. But thank you again to Gaahleri. Thank you for all of you for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.